And welcome to the Late Feed. I'm Vinny Politan. Welcome to our continuing coverage of this severe storm that we have. It's been going through Alabama into Georgia. We have team coverage for you tonight. Obviously, our meteorologists are here. We've got Chris Holcomb and Chesley McNeil in-house, but Ron Jones on the road tonight. We've got Natisha Lance with us as well, and Faith Abube, all following and tracking this storm tonight for us. Let's check in with first. Are we going to Chris Holcomb? All right, let's first check in with Chris Holcomb to see the latest on what's happening. Chris?
All right there. Thank you, Vinny. We no longer have any tornado warnings in effect. We had those warnings in effect over in West Georgia a little bit earlier. Now we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. We've been watching the rotation with these storms that have ramped down just a little bit, but don't let your guard totally down yet, because often this circulation could come back up. So far, we are seeing, okay, there's a new one right there, a new tornado warning just came in right there. This is a brand new one. As we mentioned, that these tornadoes warnings, the circulation can ramp back up and move in. So that is what has happened just now. Let me take the lightning off of here right now. And you can see, okay, Sam's saying that this is moving to the east at 45. So this is the rotation that we're seeing right now. This is a tornado warning that is for these areas here of Douglas County and also South Fulton County, okay? So this is in Douglas County right here along I-20. This is why we wanted to hold on with our coverage here, because we knew that some of these areas of rotation could ramp back up and become full-fledged tornado warnings again. So as you can see, right here along I-20 and just south of that, that's where we have the circulation right here in Douglas County. It is including Douglas County and South Fulton. I'll kind of X out of here right now. And this is where we have this getting closer to Atlanta, pretty much south of I-20 is where we have this new tornado warning that is in effect right now. I need to show you the velocity so we can see that circulation that we are tracking. Is this part right here. That is over in Douglas County. This is the area of circulation, these couplets that we're seeing right there along I-20. This is going to move over toward the east. Sam, you said what's the speed of that right now?
At speed right now, it is moving to the east at 40, I believe.
All right, so this is the circulation moving over to the east between 35 and 40. She's confirming if it's getting up to 40 miles an hour. So that's going to move it right along I-20 and push it into Campbellton at 11:13, Stratford at 11:30. If this holds together, it would move into Atlanta at 11:37 for a tornado warning that goes into South Fulton. And now Atlanta is not in the warning right now, but if it does extend into Atlanta, or that warning does extend, it would be moving into Atlanta around 11:37. This is where that warning stops right here for those spots there. So a new tornado warning issued for Douglas County, also into Fulton County, where that circulation that we have been tracking that moved in through Bremen. It was a really impressive circulation that kind of lost a little bit of its strength, and then now it has ramped back up. So we have this new tornado warning in effect right along and just south of I-20 there in Douglas County. We're going to get it a little bit tighter so you can see these street level areas of what we're watching. Now this circulation, not quite, okay, there's a new sweep that we just got in right here. I'll come back out just a little bit just to give you perspective. We're watching this part right here. That is just south of I-20, north of Fairplay, between Douglasville and Fairplay, is where we have this circulation right now. This black line that you see right here is the line between Douglas County and South Fulton. So here's Atlanta, all right? And I want you to look out to the west, out I-20, just to the south of that. This is where we have the circulation. This is moving in to areas near Chattahoochee Hills. It would be near Union City, potentially closer to East Point if that holds together, and be near Atlanta as well. Again, this is where the warning ends right there. Let me come back into that a little bit tighter. This is where the warning ends right here, that red line. So it doesn't make it to Atlanta or East Point, but if this circulation holds together, we may see that warning extend a little bit more over to the west, potentially including the Atlanta area. So this is the latest tornado warning that we have in effect right now. I want to get a look here at that warning and the expiration time one more time. Douglas County, Fulton County, until 11:30 tonight. A tornado warning that is in effect for those spots right now. And again, that is going to be coming really between Fairplay and Douglasville. This is where we see that core of circulation right now. Sam, did the National Weather Service give any more specific information about that?
Oh, they were saying that This particular tornado that is moving to the east at 45, so it's moving and being a little faster than I said, just to seek shelter right now if you're in its path, because likely to see flying debris. Also, they're expecting to see more damage just from winds themselves, and then, of course, trees coming down as this moves off very, very quickly to the east.
Okay, so that's at about 45 miles an hour, pushing over toward the east. This is the part of the circulation right now. We'll be watching this cross over the line from Douglas County into Fulton County. I want you guys, fair play, between Fair Play and Douglasville, also just north of Chattahoochee Hills, over near Union City, to be in your tornado-safe position. I know you can keep seeing this flashing here behind me. This is our tower cam in Cobb County, where we're getting plenty of lightning right now over in Cobb County from these storms that are also up to the north. So let me widen out and show you what we're watching here, give you perspective. I know when we're zoomed in really tight, it's often hard to see exactly what, the perspective of where we are. So here we are in Atlanta. These are the storms that we have been tracking for you all day, anticipating severe weather, anticipating the potential for tornadoes. We have numerous tornado warnings that have been occurring from Alabama into West Georgia. Now this line of storms closing in on the city of Atlanta. You see the lightning behind me here from our Cobb County tower cam. Very intense lightning there in North Cobb. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and there's the one tornado warning that we have. We have severe thunderstorm warning here in Cobb County, moving into Fulton. Also another severe thunderstorm warning that extends into Fayette County, Clayton County, South Fulton County, and this is where we have the tornado warning for Douglas and Fulton. And then over to the west, still multiple severe thunderstorm warnings for parts of Haralson County, Carroll County, also the southern parts of Paulding County, and it doesn't end there. We have more of these warnings extending back into Alabama over near the Anniston area too. So that is just moving along pretty much the same track as the storms have already pushed on through. So we're not finished with this yet. So multiple warnings that we have in effect right now. You're looking now at video from Marietta with intense lightning. This is live from our cameras there. We also have reporters there too. Can we keep this on split screen? Can we put one of the reporters on and ask them what they're experiencing? This is going to be Faith Abube. Faith, I know you guys, I want you, number one, to stay safe. I don't want you to put yourself in any danger there, but tell us what you're experiencing right now in Marietta. We're going to leave our radar up as well while you're talking.
Yeah, Chris, it's just amazing how quickly conditions have deteriorated here in Cobb County. We got here about 20 minutes ago. There was barely a drizzle, and just in the last few minutes, look at what's happening right now as we pan over to Cobb Parkway. We're right by SunTrust Park. The winds are picking up here, the rain coming down really heavily, and you can hear the claps of thunder and just flashing lights, the lightning coming through. And as you look here in the parking lot, you see how much rain we're getting. The parking lot flooding already, and it's only been about 20 minutes or so. So conditions are really, really bad here in Cobb County. And just in the last few seconds, it looks like it's coming down a little bit more. And we've talked to several people, as you can see here in the parking lot of this gas station. There are several people here still pumping gas. The gas station is still open. Several businesses across Cobb Parkway are still open. We've talked to several of these people, and they've been telling us, oh no, it's nothing, it's just a little bit of rain, we're not concerned at all, which is a problem because these conditions change so quickly, it's hard for you to get into a safe place. So this is something you need to plan for, and you don't need people to be out on the roads, but that's exactly what we've been seeing all evening as we've been here in Cobb County. Again, you can hear the wind, you can hear the thunder, and you can see the lightning here in Cobb County. Things are looking pretty bad, but so far, no injuries, no reports of any damages in this area. But again, as you can see, the rain is coming down pretry hard here in Cobb County.
I can hear that thunder and see the lightning. I want you guys to stay safe out there. I'll let you go take some cover right now and get and dry off a little bit and get away from that lightning. Where Faith is right now in Marietta is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Also, we're watching this right here. That is just down to the south of that, south of I-20 in Douglas County, about to move into South Fulton County. That is where we have this tornado warning that is in effect, and it will be in effect for a little while longer here as this is crossing over the line into this part of southern Fulton County. So Douglas County, you still have the tornado warning for you. I wouldn't be surprised in the next few minutes if they take away part of this warning and maybe we'll just have this over the southern parts of Fulton County. We have some very intense rain. Also, that circulation that we have been talking about here. We'll put this back to live mode and I'm going to go to velocity so we can see here this area right here where you see these colors changing. It's this part right here where we see circulation that's looking pretty impressive coming in from that area of Douglas County and into southern parts of Fulton County. We still have this tornado warning that's going to be in effect. Let me get that expiration time again for you really quick so you can see here. In effect until 11:30, Douglas and also Fulton County. We're watching this circulation as this was very strong earlier as it was moving through West Georgia. It weakened a little bit and now it just ramped back up, and that's why they have issued a new tornado warning. I don't know if you can hear this. We are now getting intense rain on top of us here at 11 Alive with thunder and lightning. That's from this area of rain up here, but it's even stronger out there as well. Let's see if we can go to Thunder Truck right now in Cobb County, where we have our reporters and photographers that are driving down the road there in Cobb County. Here's Ron Jones. Ron, how are you looking in Cobb County? Have things deteriorated for you?
Well, I tell you what, we're really feeling it here as we're moving along Interstate 75 South. We're just about 10 minutes outside of Atlanta right now. Let me show you something. We have seen a tremendous light show as we've been moving north and south on Interstate 75. And a couple of times, because of the heavy rain and the wind, we've had to slow down because we've, almost hydroplaned a few times. And so for anyone who's out on the roadway, especially if you have a high-profile vehicle, if you have a van or you're in a large truck, you're going to get pushed around a little bit. Now, the Thunder Truck is very heavy, so of course we can deal with a lot of wind, a lot of rain, but it can be very dangerous for a lot of folks who are trying to make their way onto the highway. So my advice to you, if you don't have to be out here on the roadway with all this rain and the wind, especially on 75 or anywhere in this area, I would avoid it, Chris.
We just got some information that 75 northbound is flooded at Delk Road. I'm not sure how close you are to that. I want you guys to be careful if you're out there on 75. Again, 75 flooded at Delk Road. I'm not sure how close you are to that. If you're near that, and you maybe can show that to us when you get closer to it. But you are in a severe thunderstorm warning there, Ron, there in our Thunder Truck. Look at that lightning as he was just talking about. Very intense lightning. This is in Cobb County. And again, we have reports of flooding at Delk Road and 75. So let me put this back into our live mode right now, and you can see kind of what we're watching here. Chesley just pointed out, and this is part of that notch right there. Chesley, if you want to go in front of the key and have Chesley use Max right now, Max 1, and Chesley can kind of point out this notch that we're talking about with this storm, where we see that circulation that's getting closer to Fairburn. Chesley?
And typically we look for bending in these lines or in these cells because that would indicate that wraparound that you talk about frequently with these some of these storms. You're talking about a 65 mile an hour knot wind going toward the radar there, and that it indicates that little bend that you're pointing to right now, that reference right there. And that's where we could see some of the strongest winds, maybe some of that rotation right in there. Sorry, I got a pencil in my hand. Just some of that rotation right in there where that's moving off toward almost to the southeast. So here are some of the areas that will be affected by this upcoming. You're already starting to experience some very heavy rain that's headed toward the Union City area, back over toward Red Oak, batten down the hatches there. That's going to be headed toward you as well. Toward Union City. Maybe it's just experiencing some light rain right now, but certainly some heavy rain will accompany this. And because it's nighttime, it's hard to see, number one. Number two, because the rain is coming down, hard to hear. Typically, we have testimony of people hearing winds back and forth sounding like a train, like a choo-choo train, almost as it begins to move in. You got winds blowing in opposite directions at a very rapid rate. So again, you need to batten down the hatches. Red Oak, over toward Union City, a little bit further eastward, over toward Riverdale, over toward Morrow as well. Campbellton right now, experiencing probably some of those very gusty winds along with that very heavy rain that's coming down. Chapel Hill as well. We've been hearing about some of the flooding on the roadways out there. Of course, that's being caused by some of these heavy downpours. East Point, just to a little bit north of the rotation that we're looking at, but still, if you're in this particular area, you also want to batten down the hatches. Looking back off to the west here, well, if we get rid of if we go back to that veil, it's just a little bit,
tornado likely on the ground.
If you're saying that, actually, a tornado likely on the ground?
Southeast of Campbellton, tornado likely on the ground, reported from the National Weather Service.
Southeast of Campbellton, all right? So if we can look in that particular area here, I'm looking at rotation here, maybe even some back off to the west up here, just to the south of Douglasville area, back in that particular area as well.
There's Campbellton right there in the
All right,
center.
here's Campbellton. Yeah, we're looking at this area right in here. Notice that wrap a little bit there that's taking place there. So right up in here is probably where we have, it's a little bit of a couplet right there, Chris. You can see some of that red right there and some of the green right here. So probably in this area right here. What road is this? This is Butler Road. Butler Road here. You definitely need to batten down the hatches if you're listening to us there. Anywhere in the Campbellton area right now, you could have a tornado on the ground. This is Doppler indicated so far. Typically, when we have eyewitness, that's when we'll say that certainly there is a tornado on the ground, but certainly want to be on the lookout in these particular areas as that continues to push over toward the east. Right there in that area, right in there, is where we're looking at that rotation. Look at the numerous lightning strikes associated with this and that very intense rain that's coming down. Again, no doubt this is rain wrapped. When you see that very heavy rain, that magenta color right there, this is a rain wrapped tornado as it continues to scoot off toward the east. A very dangerous situation, folks. So do not take this lightly. Go ahead and get to the lowest level of your home. Again, if you're in Union City over toward East Point, go down to the basement if you have one. If you have a helmet, you want to put that on. If you have a sturdy table, something strong, you want to get under that. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside or the exterior as you can. This is now rapidly moving toward the east. Sam, how fast was this storm traveling? Was it about 45 miles an hour?
45 miles an hour.
45 miles to the east. So you definitely don't want to, if you're watching us right now, you definitely don't want to wait. Go ahead and get down to the lowest level of your home and take your supplies with you as far as your iPads, your iPhones. Make sure they're charged up as well. Chris, you have more information?
Yeah, we've got some new information here from the Weather Service where their radar, dual pole radar, indicating a well-defined tornado debris signature around Highway 92 and DeMooney Road, which would be where we had that debris, that signature that you were just talking about just a second ago. So they were indicating there the potential of a debris signature that was showing up at Highway 92 and DeMooney Road. So we'll keep an eye on that. That was as it moved through the Campbellton area and continuing to push on over to the east now at about 40 miles an hour. So there's that notch that Chesley was talking about right here where we see that circulation that we're watching. Stonewall Road, Union City, Buffington Road, Red Oak, Welcome All Road. DeMooney Road is what we were just talking about right up here. Is where we had that potential for, let me take you up to there right now. This is DeMooney Road that you see right up here. I'm going to take you over closer. DeMooney right here is where we had that tornado debris signature right there at DeMooney Road and also Highway 92. So that's where we had that tornado debris signature that was located there. And they were saying from that, I think we just had some lights that just went out here.
Chesley was saying that was probably the hail on our
Exactly.
roof, but we've had hail almost 3 inches in diameter, say 2.5 here, and just on the south side of Campbellton associated with that storm.
All right, so I want to go back to velocity because we are already seeing a lot of times with these, there's DeMooney Road and Jones Road, there's Campbellton that was moving through. As we're seeing this look like it's weakening just a little bit, not totally going away, but the Weather Service also confirming that it looks like it's showing signs of weakening. It could have been just can be a tornado that's not going to last a long time. And that's really shown us the history of this storm where we had tight couplets there and circulation that was very tight, but then it kind of would weaken a little bit and then ramp back up. And that's exactly what we saw here. Okay, stay with us, guys. I know this looks weird with no lights. We just had a power surge here in Atlanta. I don't want to go off to another camera or anything. We need to stay right here. I know it doesn't look beautiful. It doesn't look pretty, but this is the reality of storm coverage. Nope, we can just leave it right here because I think people can see what is happening here. The lights are going to come back on in just a second. There they go. We just had a power surge here at 11 Alive. We're safe. We don't see any circulation here, but we have some very heavy rain and some gusty winds here. We're hearing it hitting the window, hitting the roof here at the station. But just wanted to, that's the reality of these storms moving through. We have those storm surges as well. We have a generator out there too that is going to keep us going here on the air. So we're not going to lose that. Okay, they're going out again. It's just fine. We're getting these power surges here at the station. what you can see here is the most important thing. Even though this is you see me kind of as a silhouette, we have this tornado warning right here where we see this circulation that we hope is showing signs of weakening as it gets closer to Union City and also into East Point. Let me take you to Thunder Truck right now in Cobb County. The lights are coming back up now. We have Ron Jones there right now on 285. Ron, tell me how things are looking there in Cobb right now.
Right. Okay, so this is the situation for us. We just got off Interstate 75 south, and we're trying to make the interchange on the 285, and we've already run into an accident. We see a lot of blue lights up ahead here. Traffic has come down now to a crawl, and we went through a ton of standing water as well as we tried to make our way to this interchange split. The traffic is backing up. Folks are putting on their flashers. So it's going to be really slow go if you're trying to navigate through some of these, whether it's an interchange, whether it's an interstate, or whether it's even some of these back roads. So I would suggest, as you can see, we're trying to push our way through here. You can see the blue lights up ahead. I would suggest if you got to make that grocery run, just put it off. Don't even think about it, because you can run into some mess like this. And we noticed as we were driving along Interstate 75 that the wind was beginning to pick up. It was starting to push the truck around, and then all of a sudden you get those surprise puddles that you don't anticipate. And once you begin to hydroplane, if you look to the left here, it's probably a lot of, you can't see that well, but you can see Cobb County police are here. But you begin to hydroplane, and before you know it, you're slamming into another vehicle. So folks, be very careful as you try to make if you have to get out onto the roadway. So once again, Chris, this is the interchange off of southbound 75 onto 85, 285, as folks are trying to make their way out to Douglas County.
All right, and just as you come back to me, the lights just went down again, but I have some new information I want to show you here. If you can take us, you can see here that the tornado warning that was in effect there in Douglas County is no longer in effect for Douglas. It is still in effect for South Fulton County. So the circulation with this has moved out of Douglas County. The lights are coming back up here. We keep getting these power surges here. We have a generator as well that is trying to keep us on the air, but we still get seeing some of these lightning surges, power surges that we have. That's why our lights keep going on and off. This is the reality of live TV storm coverage that we've got going on right now. I'm just glad that we are still on the air here with you, tracking these storms as they are moving through. This is the notch right here of circulation, no longer in Douglas County. There is the Fulton County and Douglas County line. So this circulation is totally into Fulton County. Now, we're getting to the end of this polygon. You can see that red line right here. That circulation is coming through there, and that is about to move on out. So if this holds together, it will potentially move this tornado warning maybe into the rest of South Fulton County, maybe impacting the northern parts of Fayette, potentially extending over into Clayton County. We are going to look to see how long this circulation is holding together. The last we saw from the Weather Service is that it looked like the circulation was weakening a little bit, but not enough to cancel that warning that's in effect for South Fulton County. Again, about to move into northern Fayette, also into the northern parts of Clayton County. As we widen out, you can see not just the tornado warning is in effect. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for Atlanta. Also down through the northern parts of Coweta County, Carroll County, and still stretching out I-20, folks. This just does not want to stop out I-20, where we're seeing these storms that are moving along the same line right there along I-20, and heavy rain just keeps moving on the same spots that have already had some impressive rain move through. Sam, you had mentioned something about a flash flood warning on those spots?
Yeah, we have flash flood warning that is still in place here, and that's as that line has come right along I-20. So north of I-20, we still have that flash flood.
Check that out on Max 2 if y'all can. She's got a map up showing those flood warnings.
Yeah, and you can see how so we have a flash flood warning that is in place, and that's because we've had 1 inch to 2 inches of rain in a short period of time, and we're expecting another 1 inch to 2 inches. Now, that won't be for everyone across North Georgia. You can see where it is. It's right along just north of I-20. It came north of Birmingham, and you can see that swath of moisture aimed at the Atlanta area. So that flash flood warning is going to be in place since the rain has been coming down, the ground is saturated, and we're expecting another 1 to 2 inches of rain as we head into the next couple of hours anyway, as these storms continue to train off to the east. So flooding rain a concern, even though we're, the tornadoes and the strong, severe thunderstorm winds have been stealing the headlines here.
All right, so let's take a look. We've widened out just a little bit. Want to give you perspective of what we're watching over North Georgia. We're focusing on this in Metro Atlanta and over on the west side because that's where we have the strongest storms that are moving through right now. I want folks, though, on the north side to know we have some heavy rain, light to moderate showers at some spots. Once you get here closer to Atlanta, these storms rolling right in over the city with severe thunderstorm warnings, this yellow polygon here, right through the heart of Atlanta, heavy rain. You saw the lightning and the impacts of that lightning here at 11 Alive with our power kind of flashing on and off here. You can also see from these cameras that we have here some lightning strikes that keep coming through here from our tower cams. And then also we have an additional severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for South Fulton into parts of Clayton County or Fayette County and Clayton. Also for northern Coweta and Carroll. And then this right here, severe thunderstorm warning for Douglas, also into South Fulton, and then right there into South Fulton County. This is where we still have that circulation that we are watching right now. I'm going to put this back to velocity. This warning is supposed to expire in just a few minutes here. As we get closer to 11:30, we can see that circulation right there around Union City that is pushing on right there close to 85. There's Union City, Stonewall Tell Road, Oakley Industrial Boulevard there at Red Oak. So this circulation is about to move beyond the tornado warning. And so they may, if this holds together, they may issue another tornado warning for the rest of South Fulton County, over here down into parts of Clayton County, and potentially in the northern parts of Fayette County, if this holds together with that circulation that could be moving through there, moving over to the east. Again, about 35 to 40 at times, moving up to 45 miles an hour. So I want to put another track on this, Sam, if you could confirm that speed again from this latest tornado warning that's now just for Fulton. Douglas County is not in it. I'm going to do a new track on this. I do believe they updated the speed of that when they took Douglas out and put Fulton in. This is the part we're watching right here. I'll extend this out to the east, just a little bit of a jog to the south, east-southeast, going between 35 and 40 miles an hour. Did you see an update there, Sam?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking for it here. Yes, it is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour.
Okay, so there's 40 miles an hour right here. That would take it to Forest Park. Again, this extends outside of the tornado warning. We're just giving you the speed of the storm if it continues moving over to the east and if that circulation would hold together. But this is outside of the tornado warning. If it goes into Forest Park at 11:37, no tornado warning for you in Forest Park, no tornado warning for you in Stockbridge. But if it does ramp up, it would be in your area at 11:49. Conyers at 12:08, and then Covington at 12:21. Again, not as a tornado warning. That extends outside of the tornado warning, but if that holds together, this storm system would move into your area in those time frames that we see right there. So the tornado warning still, South Fulton County, there's that circulation right there. We'll be watching this very closely. This is the south end of the perimeter. You know what? I don't know if y'all have remote 32, our airport tower cam, if that is even fired up right now. That could be an option that we could check, because this is that circulation right now that would be moving in over near the airport. So I don't know if an engineer is watching, if we have remote 32 that is fired up, if we can get that fired up so we can look at our airport cam and see what that circulation, what it is doing, potentially impacting flights out of Hartsfield. You know what, while I'm right here, I'm gonna look really quick at our flight delay information as well. I have a shortcut right here. So I'm not seeing any delays right now out of Atlanta. I would not be surprised if we get some delays coming out of Atlanta. Sorry? Okay, yes. Okay, let me switch to the Noonan camera as well. Chesley, that's a great idea to go down to Noonan so we can see what's going on there now that the bulk of that has moved out of Cobb, and we'll have Coweta County. That'll be showing up there at the bottom. Sam, you may have to do
Yeah,
that. For some
let
reason,
me get
mine
to
is
it.
not doing that. So this is tornado warning here. That's the circulation near Union City. We're going to check on our tower cams out at the airport. Also down in Coweta County, where we have those strong storms there too. The circulation that we can see right there moving through Union City, about to push through, potentially getting into Clayton County or the northern parts of Cobb County. So we may see there those storms as they continue to move on through, giving that potential for some rotation as it continues through there too. That is a live look you can see out of Coweta County, where we do have some rain around. We're waiting to see if we see some more lightning that's going to start ramping up there as well. And now back to our reflectivity, and of course you can see all the lightning that's going to be showing up here in just a second with these storms that continue to push on through right there into plenty of lightning. I'm going to do another count on this, and this will stretch back toward Birmingham. And still, folks, this is amazing to see all of the lightning in association with that back into the Birmingham area. We can do a count on this right now, the lightning that goes back toward Birmingham, and will include all of this along I-20 and even that over North Georgia. And we have about 950 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes in that red box right there. So a lot of electricity in these storms, and it's moving right along I-20. I would not want to be traveling along I-20 right now, not only because of the lightning, but also because of the hail that's moving through there too. I'm going to put this on hail right now so you can see what we're watching. I just saw a big lightning strike there behind me. Here's what we're watching closer to that hail core. We're not seeing as much hail with this back into Alabama as we saw a little bit earlier, so that is a good sign of what we have, but still some large hail right here. I want our folks in Thunder Truck and our crews out there to be careful because of some of that large hail that's moving through. This dark blue that you see here would be about 1.5 to 1.75 inches in diameter. You can see live excuse me, of our Thunder Truck as it's rolling down the road right now over along 285. They may be close to that hail. In fact, Ron, can you hear me right now? Ron, can you speak to me real quick?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you right now.
Tell me where
Chris.
you are.
Yeah, we're headed 285 west, and we are right close to the to Interstate 75, to that interchange to head south on 75.
Okay.
So right now the rain has calmed down just a little bit, but I know that we're getting ready to drive into it because we can still see the light show. We can still see the lightning from where we are, but it's not too bad. But we're preparing for the worst. Traffic is slowed down significantly here, Chris, because we're still running into a lot of standing water here on Interstate 7 or 85 west onto Interstate 75 south.
All right, Ron, thank you for that update. We'll come back to you when we have any more information. We just got some new breaking news right now. Haralson County schools are closed tomorrow due to storm damage from these storms that have moved through. So Haralson County schools are closed tomorrow from what we have just heard here due to storm damage throughout the county there. Here's a look. So we're talking Haralson County right over here toward the Bremen area. That's exactly where we were. And let me put this back onto reflectivity for you too. So there's the hail. This is the strongest is down there in the northern parts of Fayette County. This stretches back along I-20. Here's a look at all of the lightning and the reflectivity there. We're going to come in just a little bit tighter so you can see here what we're watching with these storms. Haralson County is the area that had the rotation and severe weather that moved through a little bit earlier. So again, we have a word in now, confirmation. Haralson County schools closed tomorrow because of storm damage in the county. Along I-20 here, you can see these storms, still severe thunderstorms that move through Douglas County. So the one for Fulton has just expired, Sam, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so Fulton County, that expired at 11:30 at the bottom of the hour. Good news is they have not issued a new tornado warning, but what often happens with these warnings is that we see the circulation kind of lower a little bit and then they can ramp back up. That's exactly what happened with these storms earlier. We had one that expired in in Douglas County and out to the west, and then it ramped back up as it was moving into South Fulton, so they reissued another one too. I'm going to let you go to Chesley right now. He can talk more about these severe thunderstorm warnings. We have that new one that was just issued, Chesley, there on the south side into Henry County, Rockdale County too, and I'll put that up for you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chris. Yeah, it's a new warning there. If we can go ahead and put that on the screen, as you can see, yeah, severe thunderstorm warning will last until 12 o'clock midnight here for Clayton, Henry, Newton, and also Spalding County. You can have it's extending down to the south and southeast now as the storms continue to push through. A lot of the heavy rain now moving out of the Atlanta metro area, the city downtown area, even over our studios here, starting to hear the rain begin to let up just a little bit. We'll continue to push down to the south. Could we still see some rotation? Absolutely. We can see more of that begin to fire up, especially as these storms push a little bit further down to the south, where the temperatures have been a little bit warmer as we head through the afternoon and into the evening. Chris mentioned also off I-20 heading back off toward the west, where these storms have been training. And typically with the training is where you start to see a lot of that flooding begin to take place. So that will continue to slide a little bit further east and southeast as well. Places like Rome, you're out of it now. The rain starting to subside. We haven't seen much upstream back behind that. So you're probably out of it now for now. There may be some showers that'll pop up a little bit later on. Over toward Roswell area right now, you got some moderate rainfall, but you're out of it. Again, that heavy rain and the probably the gustiest winds right here headed toward the Loganville area and down toward McDonough over northern parts of Henry County. That's where you're going to see some gusty winds associated with this. Even though we don't have the tornado warnings out there, with some of these thunderstorms, you're talking about winds anywhere between 50 and maybe up to 60 miles per hour with a lot of these, which is why we have the tornado warnings, the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Those winds could be up to 58, 60 miles per hour with some of these, and again, some of that hail that's associated with it as well. Had some reports of pea-size hail so far, even up to golf ball size hail in our area. So these storms have a history of producing that. And again, this is the latest warning that we see right now, which covers a lot of ground here as these storms continue to push. The bending is what we'll have to watch out for, where we see, again, that wind pushing in from the opposite direction, which adds to some shear. That's where we can see some of those spin-ups begin to take place. And so even as it continues to push a little further down to the south, Butts County, you'll be getting in on some of this heavy rain here momentarily. You've been spared so far down in Spalding County, but you'll get in on some of this heavy rain and perhaps even some severe thunderstorm warnings as well. You do have a warning over into your northeastern corner of the county. You'll get in some of this heavy rain and then maybe some gusty winds associated with that as well. Back toward Carrollton, you're still dealing with some of that heavy rain that's coming down. Again, no tornado warnings right now. We had one that just expired, but none right now. These are all severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in effect. And again, these storms have a history of producing some very gusty winds and producing some tornadoes as well. So please continue to be on the lookout. Also, the flash flooding associated with it. If you live in McDonough right now, you may want to go to the lowest level of your home just in case, just to be on the safe side. Instead of our folks go to bed around this time, look at the late news and then try to go to bed. Definitely want to take the necessary precautions. If you're going to be going to bed, maybe go to bed down in the basement for tonight. Looking at some of the velocities here, not seeing a whole lot of rotation, and a lot of these are starting to broaden out just a little bit, Chris. As you
Not
can
really
see.
seeing much of that either.
Most of that right up in here, maybe a little bit right there. And that's even gone away now with the latest scan. And so you can see that's starting to push a little bit further over toward the east. Very broad now as far as the winds are concerned, which is why we don't have that tornado warnings in effect right now. But look at the numerous lightning strikes associated with this. You did hear about that damage to a school out in Harrison County. We'll probably be hearing more about that, especially with a lot of the lightning that was already in place and it's still in place. Again, lightning does a lot of damage as well, folks, especially to schools, a lot of the buildings that are out there as well. So far, I haven't heard about any fires. Some of you haven't heard about any fires popping up from our emergency management, have you, on the chat? Mine has gone down since the rain has pushed through our area, and so the server is down for me. But we'll be looking at a lot of the lightning strikes because, again, that could cause a lot of damage throughout the area along with the heavy rain, which is leading to that flooding. Chris has just put the lightning counter on here. You can see we're up to 975 lightning strikes just in this particular area right here over the last 15 minutes. And again, continue to push off toward the east. Good news with no warnings right now. And again, we have seen some pop up and then they go away, pop up and go away. We'll probably continue to see that as we head through much of the evening. Even some of the intensity as far as the rains go starting to die out just a little bit here as we get further into the evening. And as we get further down to the south, we're losing a lot of the heating. A lot of these storms will begin to die out. We were talking to the National Weather Service earlier in the day, and they thought even by 3 a.m., a lot of this would have begun to subside. Chris?
All right, so we have some more information in from the Weather Service. They don't want people to let their guard down, even though you're not seeing any tornado warnings in effect, because brief spin-ups can still occur with this system. We're still seeing some areas. I know Chesley and I just looked at that velocity. We didn't see anything that stood out right now, but the Weather Service doesn't want you to let your guard down right now because we could still see some brief spin-ups occur. We do see good signs that maybe this is weakening a little bit as it pushes on over to the east. We were kind of expecting that. You can see live right there. That's right outside of our station here at 11 Live, the lightning that we have. The flags are blowing with the wind. They are not blowing too briskly, but we still see the rain and the lightning in association with that as the system is moving on through. And let me know when we can go back to Ron Jones. I know he's on 285 going south toward I-20. It'd be interesting to see what he's encountering now as we've seen that heavier rain come through. So let me know when he's ready and we can go back to him. And also, let's go ahead and go to Ron right now. Ron, you're still 285 south. I just saw that shot freeze up just a little bit. Maybe we can't go to him right now. Okay, we'll go back to him in just a second. And is Natisha or are Natisha available or Faith, are they available? I know that Natisha is in Rome, had some video earlier of some of that heavy rain and lightning. And then also I want to check on Faith too in Marietta just to make sure they're doing okay with that heaviest rain that is already pushed out. So let me know when we can get to them. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect. The good news is no tornado warnings right now. And as you can see there on the bottom of your screen, Haralson County schools are closed tomorrow. They're saying it's because of widespread storm damage throughout the county. So they have closed schools tomorrow in Haralson County. That's right out here to the west. And that's where we were tracking strong storms, tornado warnings earlier that were coming in from the Alabama area. So here are the numerous tornado warnings that we have in effect right now. I will put this just now into live mode so you can see here what we've got going on. That's that leading edge. Chesley was just talking about this part down here on the south side where we have intense storms that are rolling through, going through Henry County, McDonough, also into Newton County, out I-20, severe thunderstorm warnings that are moving through right now, getting closer to Spalding County as well. And then as we widen back out here and move up closer to Atlanta, a little bit of lighter rain now on the west side. Let's go to Ron Jones right now in Thunder Truck. Ron, I know you had heavy rain a little bit earlier, a lot of ponding on the road. Is the rain letting up there on the west side of the perimeter right now a little bit?
You know, actually it picked up. So this is where we are now. We're pushing our way through downtown Atlanta. Let me give you a perspective of what we're seeing right now. This is Interstate 75 headed south. It had let up a little bit the last time that we spoke with you and we were trying to get off 285. But now that we're on 75, making our way through downtown, the rain is beginning to pick up once again. We're trying to make our way over to Interstate 20 going eastbound, but we got diverted because of an accident on 285 because there's tons of traffic still out here on the freeway and some folks driving a little too fast for the conditions. But yeah, we're on 75 now, trying to make our way through downtown, and the rain has picked up and some of the standing water has increased. We can hear it underneath the truck as we try to make our way through downtown, so you have to be really careful. So we're going to stay on top of this and let you know once we make it to Interstate 20 or if we see any other type of weather that's impeding traffic here. But yeah, this is the look, this is the view.
All right, Ron.
Downtown Atlanta.
All right, so what I was thinking, I thought you were over on 285 on the west side headed toward 20, but you were actually inside the perimeter. So that does show the heavier rain that we're seeing here. I thought you were in this part over here that was letting up. We can go up into Cobb County right now. Faith Abube is there right now. The last time we saw Faith, she was getting some very heavy rain and a lot of lightning. And Faith, where you are now, we're still seeing some rain, but it doesn't look as heavy as it was. Are you confirming that now?
Oh, yeah, I can confirm that. It's slowed down to just a little bit of a drizzle right now. And earlier when we showed you this parking lot, you had rain everywhere. It was almost flooded here. But right now you can see the rain has drained. Over there on the streets, as you look at Cobb Parkway, you can see there are still people driving around. Even at the height of the storm, there were people on the roads. There were people here at this gas station just walking around like nothing was going on. We talked to several of them, and they said they weren't concerned. They thought this was just rain and some strong winds. clouds, and they didn't think it was going to be any tornado in the midst of that. But we have been talking to Cobb County Dispatch. They are telling us there are several incidents, weather-related incidents that they're reporting across the county. Flooding is the #1 issue. They're seeing flooding on several roads across the county. There are trees down in several places. We took some notes in our conversation with them. They told us there's flooding on 75 southbound, just about a quarter mile from the 258 exit on the left-hand side. So if you're heading in that direction, hopefully you're not heading out tonight, but if you happen to have someone going in that direction, just let them know there's flooding on 75 southbound. There are also several trees down, as I just mentioned, and then 285 westbound, just past Cobb Parkway, where we are right now. There's a tree blocking the road in that area. There are crews there trying to remove that tree. And then on 285 southbound, just a half mile from West Paces Ferry Road, there is a tree blocking that area as well. There's a serious accident right now on 575 at the 75 merge. There's an entrapment. There are people trapped inside a vehicle. It's a 3-vehicle accident. We don't know the condition of the people, but it came in to dispatch as an entrapment. Then there's another accident of a box truck spinning out on 75 southbound at the ramp there at 285. So you can see here the strong winds, the heavy rains that came through here in Cobb County just about 20 minutes ago really did some damage. And of course, crews are out there trying to make sure everyone is safe and making sure they're blocking off the roads that are flooded right now. So be careful. Again, people out here not taking this very seriously, but if you're home and you're watching us tonight, just take all the precautions. You never know how quickly the conditions will get worse. So make sure you're charging your phone, make sure you're being updated on our weather app as well as weather radios, and also make sure that you have a battery, your battery is charged and you have extra batteries just in case another storm spins out and comes in this area. But right now, again, as you can see there, the rain has just slowed down and it's just a bit of a drizzle right now. The winds have died down completely, and things are looking good right now in Cobb County, but it's not over.